What's up guys, Kyle here again and welcome to the very first episode of Tweak My Tone. Let's do it! Okay, hope you guys are doing great out there. As I said, this is the very first episode of Tweak My Tone. The vision that I have for this series is for you guys to send me your tone that you have recorded, your guitar setup from front to back, everything from the guitar, the pickups, the pedals in front, the pedals in the effects loop, the amp, the speaker or sim, and you describe to me what you think that you're missing in your guitar tone, and I will do my absolute best to try and help and get you guys closer to the tone in your head. I think this is a cool idea. It helps me interact with you guys. It allows me to put you guys on my channel and have more crowd participation, which is something I am 100% about. That's one of the things that I love the most about this YouTube thing, is being able to interact with you guys. So for you guys to directly record videos, send them to me for me to tweak and put them on the channel, that's awesome to me. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. And hopefully we can help you guys figure out how to fix whatever you think is missing in your rig. That way you are closer to that ideal tone. So without further ado, we have 2 entries for today. Both guys did a great job of explaining to me their guitar rig. If they didn't put it in the description of their email that they sent to me, they put it in the description of the video, or they put it in the video themselves. So moving forward, if you guys want to put your submissions in for Tweak My Tone episode, please give me as much detail as you can. It's not me just kind of judging your tones and saying, ooh, I like this or I don't like that. It's me trying to help you figure out how to get what you're missing. So therefore I need to know what it is you think you're missing from your tone and what your setup is. That way I can help you. So let's jump into the very first one. All right, guys, Jesus Ramirez, you have the honor of being the very first entry in this series. Jesus writes, as this is my first tube head and I'm so used to tweaking virtual amps, I'm never really happy with the tone recorded and I end up doing everything from the start. The part I find the most difficult is the right amount of gain coming from the amp so it doesn't get muddy later in the mix. I also struggle a bit when EQing the tone when using different guitars so it doesn't become too harsh or too muddy even with an overdrive in front of the head. Totally get that, man. Hope I have explained myself. It's been some time since I've written anything in English. Anyway, thanks in advance. You did a great job, by the way. All right, so let's open this up and see what we got. Okay, there you go, right there. Everything is in the description. That helps a lot. Pickups would help, but I can clearly see that they're in the MG 808 or something. Okay, so it sounds pretty good in the mix there. The mix overall sounds a little bit flat, like it needs a little bit more, maybe like 12K frequency or something like that. Overall, the guitar seems to be lacking a little bit of that top end sizzle that I personally like. So I'm guessing that that's where you're having the issue of balancing too harsh with too dull. I like that you show the settings with the Badass OD. And then the Boss NS2. That's not really gonna make a huge difference, although I would suggest a different noise gate as the NS2 does tend to darken and muffle your tone a little bit, I found over the years. It definitely does. So maybe something like the Deadwell Duality Golem or a nice simple ISP decimator would help. Oh, let's go back. Let's go back. I'm talking too much. Here's the settings on your amp. All right, get out of here. I'm gonna question this right off the bat because your reverb is at 10, so hopefully these are the settings for the video. Resonance, presence is way down, treble. So one thing about Marshall amps is they tend to like to have the treble dialed down and the presence dialed up, and that kind of shifts where the high frequencies are focused in your tone. So when you have the treble up, the high frequencies in the tone stack are usually a little bit lower in the frequency spectrum. If you dial those treble frequencies down with the treble and then dial the presence up, you'll get kind of more of like a top end sizzle that'll kind of just take the blanket off of your tone a little bit. So that would be my first suggestion. If you're struggling with being between too harsh and too dull, that would be a good start. I see the tone shift knob looks like it's possibly pushed in. If it is pushed in, that definitely, you know, it works for modern stuff, but in my opinion, you're gonna wanna have that out so you have the mids of the guitar more prevalent. When you push that in, I've always found that the tone shift button on all the DSL models seems to just scoop it way out. Just, again, just my opinion. I think that that'll get you a little bit more of a balanced tone, but again, you're playing some pretty modern stuff, so it may not work for you, but I would try putting that tone shift or removing the tone shift from the DSL-20 and maybe just dial your mids back to compensate. You will still have more mids overall, but between the presence being dialed up, treble being dialed down, and the mids being dialed in the middle, I think you'll find it'll be modern enough, and it might sit in that mix a little bit better with a little bit more top end sizzle. So you've got the volume high enough to where those tubes are definitely working. You may even benefit from turning that down just a tad because you're not going to want to saturate the power amp for the most clarity. And I've found that the DSL-20 kind of gets there pretty quickly. And then you've got your gain fairly high. I can't remember how much gain is actually on the DSL-20. I think that I would run mine around 1 o'clock, so you're probably right about there. You've got EMGs. The badass OD without the bump engage is actually fairly low output for an overdrive, so I would say that that probably is right. I'm not sure if you double tracked. Let's go back and listen again. Okay, so to me, it doesn't sound like you double tracked. What I would do, man, is I would actually turn your gain down a little bit and then double track the guitars and pan one about 70% left, pan one about 70% right. You'll find that even though you've got less gain on the guitars, it'll thicken up your sound a lot. Again, this is just assuming you don't have a double track, but to me, it sounds way too clean to be double tracked. So that's what I would do. And then over here, I love this. I love that you gave me every little bit of your signal path. This is exactly what I want from future submissions, guys. So follow Jesus's platform here. He did a great job. So I am not sure what speakers are in this Gojira plugin. So this really isn't going to be much help to me. All I see is a dynamic 57 that's very close to the dust cap, which, you know, whatever speaker you're using, if you're trying to go for a metal tone, that's usually a good placement for an SM57 on a speaker. The condenser 414, I don't know what that sounds like, so unfortunately I can't be much help on this portion of it, but yeah, you did a really good job here, man. I hope that those suggestions help you get a little bit closer. All right, yeah, so quick recap. You've got the M77 set up how I would for lower tunings. You're scooping out a lot of the bass, you got the bump off, and then you've got the tone up to add some upper mid frequencies, okay? And then on the amp, like I said, bring that presence up, bring that treble back down, tone shift out, dial the mids back to around noon or so, maybe dial the gain back a hair, double track, pan 70% left and right, and your mix will sound good. Your individual guitar tracks, in my opinion, when you're just jamming right here, sound good. But I do think that they could have probably a little bit more top end on them, and I think that that presence thing is gonna help you a lot. So do me a favor, once you watch this video and try this stuff out, let me know if this helped. I hope that it does, and thank you for your submission. On to the next one. Next submission is from Carlos Mendes. What's up, Carlos? Thank you very much. He says, hey Kyle from Portugal. I need some help to get a more 80s thrash tone for my JCM 900 Mark III. Great amp. I think maybe a 212 or a 412 should help. In the thumbnail here, it looks like he's got the combo, so I'm gonna say that's gonna be a good start. Jackson RR3 with a Duncan JB. You've got the right guitar, right pickups, SD1 pushing the amp. You've got the right boost. All right, let's hear how it sounds, man. Hell yeah. Love that guitar, by the way. That's beautiful. Got Mr. Homer Simpson over here. I dig it. That's a pretty good sounding 80s thrash tone to me, man. Especially with the chorus. I can hear the chorus in it. That doesn't sound far off from a Metallica tone. Maybe a little bright and needs a little bit more low end. Yeah, I would say that's pretty much it, man. I think you're a little bit bright on the top end. I think you could use a little bit more low end push. Let's go to the actual YouTube page for this guy. Aw, who thumbed this down? We're gonna thumb it up. Yeah, man, I mean, you've definitely got the right setup. I mean, you've got a good amp for it. The Mark III is a great amp for it. Definitely a cabinet. Definitely a cabinet. That would be my first suggestion. The tone, like I said, it seems a little bit bright on the top end and needs a little bit more low end. And I think that a dedicated cab with like a good speaker complement would help that out greatly. As far as speakers in the 80s, I don't really know what guys were using for thrash, to be 100% honest. I know, you know, Metallica was probably using like Mesa cabinets that had EV12M or EV12 speakers in them. Those are impossibly hard to find at this point. So my suggestion would be like a V30 paired with a darker speaker. So a V30 paired with a G12M65 creamback, or the classic metal combo is like a V30 paired with a G12T75, I'm sorry. Those two speakers pair together very well. They even each other out a little bit. You should get a nice tight bass response out of that. The V30 has some rolled off highs, but it's got the spiked mids, whereas the T75 has bigger bass and it's got a bigger top end. So I really think that out of everything that you've got going here, man, the only thing that you're missing is a dedicated sealed cabinet for the tone that you're going for. So everything else you've done right here. If you want to add a little bit more balls to the front end of the amp, maybe put an EQ in front, and you could also, like with a Boss GE 7-band EQ, the GE7, you can actually push your level a little bit too, so you could push for a little bit more output in front of the Mark III, because I know the Mark III doesn't have a ton of gain on tap. You could also add some low frequencies on the front end, because the SD1 does take out a lot of bass frequencies, so if you wanted to beef it up a little bit, you could do exactly that. So those would be my suggestions. Get yourself a sealed cab with a good speaker complement to go with your JCM 900 Mark III, because you've already got a great amp. Maybe throw an EQ in front of your boost. That way you can kind of fine tune the frequencies going into the amp, add whatever you think is missing there. And I think you're set, man. Again, thank you for giving me a good overview of what you have. The speaker would have been a little bit helpful, but otherwise you did a good job of giving me everything that I need in order to help you out. So yeah, I got 5 or 6 submissions, guys, but only these 2 guys really kind of met the criteria of what we're looking for this series. The other ones were just kind of like, hey man, here's my tone, or here's my band, check it out. Thanks for the exposure type thing. That's fine, and I don't mind giving your band exposure by any means. I'm happy to do it. But I need to know what guitars you used, I need to know amp and speakers, and I need to know ultimately like what you want to fix about it. What don't you like about your tone that you're trying to get a little bit more from the setup that you have, or what can you add into your setup in order to get you closer to the tone in your head, like I said. So please keep those things in mind if you guys are going to enter a submission for this series. This was really cool, this was a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it on your end. Please check down in the description for the email in which to send your Tweak My Tone submissions to, upload your video to YouTube, shoot me the link, shoot me to your description, and I'll be happy to feature it on the series. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I can't wait to do the next one. Down in the description of this video are all my support links that greatly help this channel grow, including my Sweetwater affiliate link. Get yourself something nice, click on that link, and I get a little kickback. Greatly helps the channel. Also consider becoming a patron. My Patreon link is down there. My Facebook group, my Discord server, my Amazon affiliate links, everything that you guys check out down there greatly helps. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for your support. If you liked the video, hit the like button on the way out. Consider subscribing so you don't miss anything else. Kyle here again. We'll see you guys next time. We're riffing!